Why you need 2 DACs and 2 turntables? Okay, so you have a DAC. That don't impress me much. And a turntable. You're Brad Pitt. I don't think I'm quite ready for my stand-up debut at the Edinburgh Fringe, but I'm working on it. Enough of the humour. Oddly enough, everything in this video is going to be stone cold serious. It's about some true physical realities in audio, not audiophile woo-woo. To be fair, some of this is going to be a little less than fully practical, but it's interesting stuff nonetheless. And we're all enthusiasts here. We want to practice and grow our enthusiasm for audio. Are you with me? Let's get into it. My starting point today is balanced headphones. Why? And first, what? Normal headphones, or regular headphones if you like, have 3 conductors in the cable. One is ground, the others are left and right signal. All well and good. Life doesn't get much better. But it does get better. If you have 2 conductors for each earpiece, 4 conductors, no ground, you can have left signal on one conductor, right on another, negative left and negative right. So you're driving all of the conductors, not wasting one at mere ground voltage. Morally and spiritually, this seems to make sense. But what's the good reason for this? Well, you can get 6 dB more level. This can be significant with high impedance headphones. It isn't woo-woo, it's real and anyone can hear it. But are there any other good reasons for balanced headphones? I had my doubts, but in the spirit of inquiry, I asked my commenters. And one of them came up with the goods. Thank you to SHPATER, whoever you are. Bear in mind that this is my interpretation of what Schappater writes, so there may be room for further comment. It goes like this. The best DAC chip you're going to get has about 130 dB of dynamic range. I didn't say DAC, that's the whole thing in its metal, plastic or cocoa bolo wood case. It's the chip that the manufacturer buys in to do the actual work. The same chip probably that several or many DAC manufacturers use, but that's a different story. So, 130 dB. 24-bit digital audio can encode a dynamic range of 144 dB in theory. So we're missing 14 dB. That's around 2 1/3 bits. These 2 1/3 bits live in the DAC. They're making nothing but noise. BTW, if you're a commenter and you would like to quibble, elucidate, remember that I'm trying to interpret my commenter as best I can. Now, if you're balancing the signal, you'll need 2 DAC chips. This, so I am told, will improve the signal-to-noise ratio by 3 dB, and who wouldn't want that? Okay, so A, I'm not quite sure I have my head fully around this, and B, no one can hear it. But I don't mind that no one can hear down to this low level. Excellence is a worthy pursuit in itself. I'm guessing that unless you're a boffin of some kind, and some of my viewers are, but mostly you'll be getting your head around this somewhat less than the full 360 degrees. I'm going to make it crystal clear, though, with vinyl and 2 turntables. You're interested now. Okay, so what's the problem with vinyl? One of the many, many problems, perhaps, but what's the most significant? The noise! The noise of the vinyl medium itself, even if it's as close to perfect as it can be, and then the surface noise, and then the clicks, pops and scratches. It can get ugly. But what if I said we could reduce the noise by 3 dB? Not a lot, but well worth having. And if I could get it, I'd have it. 3 dB. So, suppose I have 2 turntables. I'd say that this will work best if they are identical in motor unit, arm and cartridge, but maybe they don't have to be. Suppose also that there's a record that I like very much that isn't available digitally. Vinyl is the only option. I buy 2 copies, one for each turntable. Now, by mysterious means, what I'm able to do is synchronize the signal from both turntables exactly, so that the waveforms from both discs line up all the way to 20 kHz and beyond, and they stay that way all through each side. Then I mix them together. Okay, let's pause for breath and perhaps comment on what we've done so far. What I'm going to hear will be 3 dB less noisy than playing one disc by itself. The inherent noise of the vinyl medium is 3 dB less, surface noise is 3 dB less, even the worst of scratches is 3 dB less. And I'm not kidding. If it were possible to synchronize the two turntables exactly, this is exactly what we'd get. So, how does it work? I'm going to analogize to tape. Let's say reel-to-reel tape, though the concept would work for cassette. Standard tape is 1/4 of an inch wide, 6.35 millimeters approximately, but that makes the maths harder. We record a signal onto that 1/4 inch tape, but on playback we hear the signal mixed in with random noise. Tape hiss, we often call it. But suppose instead we used 1/2 inch tape, and there are 1/2 inch tape recorders used for stereo. When we play this back, we have twice as much signal in terms of magnetism coming off the tape, and twice as much noise. But, and this is a great but, possibly the greatest but of all time, we've doubled the strength of the signal, but the signal on each half of the width of the tape is correlated. It's the same signal. The noise on each half of the width of the tape is uncorrelated because it's random. When we add two correlated signals, we get a rise in level of 6 dB. When we add two uncorrelated signals, we get a rise of only 3 dB. So, hey, we're 3 dB in profit. This applies to our turntables. When I mix the outputs of the turntables, the wanted signal increases by 6 dB because it's correlated. The noise, all of the noise, increases by only 3 dB because it's uncorrelated. So I get to enjoy my vinyl with 3 dB less noise, and I like that. Okay, so I'll probably transfer this to digital straight away because it's a hell of a hassle. But I've got that 3 dB benefit to enjoy for as long as I like. At this point, I'm going to ask for your comments. There are 3 separate points, I think. One is whether this could ever possibly work. I think it could. 2 is that I believe that for material that's only available on vinyl, this would be a great positive for archiving and streaming. 3 is whether it could ever be done within the realms of practical audiophilia. Oh, and I said 2 turntables to get 3 dB less noise. What about 4 turntables for 6? And all this starting with balanced headphones. See you soon.
I have a turntable farm of 16 turntables, thus requiring 16 copies of each disc. This gains me 12 decibels additional resolution. I play them backwards and digitize to DSD, then reverse the data in software. This circumvents any possible pre-ringing in the reconstruction filter.